gearing up for race day.
I have all my stuff here, and yeah, let's do this.
The city is putting the finishing touches on the Ironman Canada-Ottawa triathlon for Sunday. WestJet cancels dozens of flights ahead of a possible strike by the airline's flight attendants. We have the latest on the labor dispute. It's been a month since Ottawa's record-breaking Canada Day storm.
It was finished basement, so kind of a lot of damage, yeah.
How residents are coping with the ongoing cleanup. And it's the unofficial midpoint of the summer season.
I take everyone here when they visit, so it was the perfect opportunity.
We take a look at what to do for the Civic long weekend here in the capital. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Now, while some people will be relaxing this long weekend, the countdown is on to the Iron Man taking place in Ottawa tomorrow, as thousands are set to take part in the grueling triathlon making its way through downtown Ottawa and the surrounding areas. CTV's Kimberley Johnson joins us now with a look at how some of the athletes and businesses are preparing. Kimberley.
Kimberley, ensuring that all 3,000 athletes are ready to swim, cycle, and run is no easy feat. But that's exactly what organizers and volunteers have spent the day doing before participants hit that water in the early morning hours tomorrow.
The barriers are going up and putting the finishing touches on the finish line, as about 3,000 athletes are set to participate in the Ironman Canada on Sunday.
It's all clicking in now.
Hollis Maradyn Jowsey is hanging his shoes outside the National Gallery of Canada.
Here we go. That's it.
Preparing for Sunday, when he has to transition from his bike to a marathon. He and his friend have been in intense training for 8 months.
I've never seen the city this buzzed before. It's really cool. I've been here my whole life, and it's really cool to see all the people around, and you can see everyone with their little wristbands, which is really cool, on their bikes. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm ready, I have all my stuff here, and yeah, let's do this.
Behind me, the finish line, it's our final prep for the finish line. It's a special place. You can tell when the athletes are looking at it, the excitement level is there.
Athletes will start with a 3.8 kilometer swim, then a 180 kilometer bike ride, and run a 42.2 kilometer marathon.
It's a really big machine, and of course, when I stand in this park by myself, I'm one person, but I have a huge team behind me, including over 2,000 volunteers. They're the team that really pulls off the whole event.
Ottawa Tourism says Ironman Canada is expected to inject more than $8 million into the local economy. The owner of Bush Taka says for almost 2 weeks, there has been a 10% uptick in business for his 3 locations as athletes prep for the race.
I've been amazed at how many people come in a week ahead of time to train. Or to be tourists for the week. I've met absolutely fantastic people.
And with hours left before the big event, excitement is taking off.
I think it's a challenge and just proving yourself, that harnessing that mental grit.
I just want to see with my son, my wife, and our family, and all crossing that finish line, and I think it's going to be amazing.
One big thing I heard athletes say again and again that is probably one of the most important things that they can do to prepare for tonight: get a good night's sleep, because the first shuttle bus for participants to Britannia Beach runs at about 3:30 in the morning for a 6 a.m. swim start time. Kimberley.
Did you ever do a triathlon?
No.
No, me neither. All right, CTV's Kimberley Johnson reporting live for us tonight. Thank you very much. And the Ironman race director says there will be several road closures in Ottawa and Gatineau for the event to be aware of.
It's a dynamic road closure because we're swim, bike, run. The swim doesn't have a lot of impact on the roads other than the fact that we're shuttling all 3,000 athletes. The bike is anywhere between 7 o'clock and 6 o'clock at night, but it's dynamic, so as the bikes progress forward, we reopen the roads.
Well, the closures include the Alexandra Bridge, the Chaudière Crossing, the Champlain Bridge, and the Portage Bridge, closed at various times during the day. Some major road closures will also start at 3 a.m. on Sunday, including the Kichizibi, Island Park Drive, the Sir George Etienne Cartier Parkway, just to name a few. Then we have extended coverage of this weekend's Ironman and a full list of all those road closures. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, WestJet has canceled 81 flights today so far and has begun grounding aircraft across the country. As the strike looms, more than 4,000 flight attendants are set to walk off the job just after midnight tonight. And as CTV's Kamal Karamali tells us, the main issues are wages and compensation for work when the planes are not in the air.
There is urgency and uncertainty here at Toronto's Pearson International Airport, with dozens of WestJet flights already being canceled throughout the day today. Passengers unsure of the fate of their summer vacation plans hours before they were set to fly out.
I've never felt more stranded in my life than I do right now. We don't have our suitcase. We don't have a hotel. I have kids waiting in Ireland for me right now.
The hours winding down to a potential strike as 4,400 flight attendants are set to walk off the job at 2 a.m. Eastern time, just after midnight Mountain time. Both sides have said they remain at the bargaining table trying to hash out a new tentative agreement. At the heart of it is the union pushing for pay for before and after the plane is in motion. The union claims their members don't get paid for those duties like passenger boarding and safety checks. But the airline says their pay for when the plane is in motion has already been increased to make up for the lack of pay while the aircraft is parked.
I think at the end of the day, this is a larger industry issue in the airline sector than simply WestJet. This issue's been around. It needs to be resolved, and the parties need to continue to work together.
As for passengers, WestJet has offered the option of rebooking or canceling flights that are set to depart from now until Tuesday at no cost. Canada's regulations also mean the airline has to rebook you on the next available flight within 2 days. You are also entitled to compensation for hotels and meals. Travel experts say if you're heading to an event that you can't miss, like a wedding or a cruise, consider booking a refundable backup flight. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the possible strike by WestJet flight attendants. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel at any hour. All right, we'll take our first check of the weather, what's happening here in the capital. We are now under a yellow warning for rainfall for eastern Ontario and southwest Quebec. We could see 50 millimeters of rain. But right now we're looking at 27 degrees here in the capital. Again, a chance of showers that we're looking at that we'll be dealing with for the time being. We'll take a look at tonight's lows across the region. 18 degrees here for Ottawa, 20 along the Seaway, 17 toward the Bancroft area, 19 degrees in Pembroke. But again, we have showers anticipated in the forecast. 19 degrees for Gatineau, 18 in Kemptville. We got 20 degrees, again, cloud cover in all of these areas that we're looking at. Now, as for tomorrow's highs for race day, 25 degrees here in Ottawa. Could be a wet start to the race, I should say. So 25 degrees here for Ottawa, 27 degrees in Cornwall, 24 degrees along the rest of the Seaway, 21 degrees toward the Bancroft area, 25 for Gatineau, 25 for Kemptville as well. Well, now to the latest on the wildfires burning in Ontario and British Columbia. This is a map from the Provincial Ministry of Natural Resources showing the blazes in northern Ontario. The latest numbers indicate there are 46 active fires in the northeast region. 4 are out of control. In the northwest, there are 16 new blazes confirmed last night, with 128 fires now in the region. 33 of them are out of control. Now, the ministry says crews with help from firefighters from Alberta and Mexico, they continue to make good progress under favorable weather conditions. Meantime, in BC, almost 110 active wildfires are burning as of this morning. 48 of them are considered out of control. Crews battling multiple blazes across the southern part of the province are preparing for potentially aggressive fire behavior. A cold front is bringing strong winds and thunderstorms with little to no rain. Flames are already threatening several communities in the region. Well, the City of Pembroke and the Renfrew County and District Health Unit are asking residents to help reduce rodent activity in the area. According to a public notice from the municipality and the health unit, property owners are responsible for maintaining properties to not attract or harbor rodents. Rodents can create health risks, contaminate food, and damage properties. Residents should eliminate food, water, and shelters around homes and businesses to discourage rodent activity and to help protect public health. Well, it's been 1 month since a record storm slammed the nation's capital, dumping more than 100 millimeters of rain in the hardest hit neighborhoods. Weeks later, the cleanup continues and is not even close to being done. CTV's Natalie Van Rooy is back from Crystal Beach with the latest. Natalie, what can you tell us?
Well, Kimberly, for the homeowner that I spoke to today, it's a double whammy because her family owns 2 properties next door to each other, both flooded and both have tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage.
Debris from a ruined basement sits outside Fanny Malingrey's home 1 month after her property was flooded.
But it's going to be like many thousands, like 10, I don't know, 50, 100, we don't know. First time we took
Malingrey owns 2 properties next door to each other. The basements of both homes suffered severe water damage.
Because it was such a massive event in the neighborhood, well, all the remediation companies are overwhelmed, so you know, they just came yesterday to do some work at my parents' place who live there, and for us, they came on Tuesday.
For those that live in this hard-hit neighborhood of Crystal Beach, it's still a long road ahead in terms of the cleanup and the restoration efforts. It will take months. Malingrey says at least she's covered by insurance, although they're still waiting for work to be done.
So we assumed that it would be faster, but you know, I think in the neighborhood about 2,000 homes were flooded, so I'm assuming that there's so many companies that can take care of that.
Ottawa Councillor Teresa Kavanagh says thousands of residents reported flooding in their basements.
Coming up to 7,000 people that, that phone 311. People are still coping. They're still cleaning out their basements. If they're anything like me, I just had a second dumpster taken away yesterday.
The City of Ottawa has called on the Ontario government to expand its disaster recovery assistance for Ontarians. So far, Crystal Beach isn't covered.
I meet with the senior staff regularly of the city, and they are still talking. But I don't have anything concrete to show anyone yet. I know that the conversations are still going on.
Coming from the foundation.
For Malingrey, her family is staying positive and working ahead to get things done.
We were expecting that it would be months before, things go back to normal.
And Kimberley, there's still so many areas that are impacted by this flooding, including Ottawa's Maradyn Theatres at Centre Point in the Nepean suburb, which will remain closed the rest of the year because of all of the damage to the theatre stage and the orchestra.
CTV's Natalie Van Wooy reporting live for us. Thank you very much, Natalie. And you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on the ongoing cleanup after the Canada Day storm. Canada is introducing a temporary tariff on some imported wood products. Starting today, the federal government is imposing a 25% surtax on certain imported wood cabinets and vanities. The temporary tariffs will stay in place for up to 200 days while the Canadian International Trade Tribunal investigates whether a surge in imports is hurting Canadian manufacturers. Now, the United States will be exempt from the tariffs along with Mexico, Israel, Chile, and developing countries under Canada's international trade obligations. Parliament may be on pause for the summer, but it's a busy season of politics as candidates work to secure votes in 3 separate by-elections. According to the latest Nanos poll, ballot support for the Liberals is up, sitting at 44.7%. The Conservatives have slipped to 29.5%, and support for the NDP is slightly up to 12.7%. The Liberals will be hoping their advantage plays out in the Quebec riding of Chicoutimi-Lafjord. Nanos projects a 3-horse race, and it's shaping up for that seat.
Every time Donald Trump attacks Canada, we see the Liberals doing well. You know, they're up compared to a month ago. And, you know, the one thing that's different, at least compared to a month ago, is Donald Trump and his threat of a 50% tariff on certain Canadian goods. You know, the thing is that love him or hate him, the fact of the matter is that Donald Trump has an influence on the political environment in Canada, also has an influence on how people feel about the federal parties and the federal leaders.
Conservative MP Richard Martel's seat opened up last month after he was appointed to the Senate by the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, the Liberals will look to hold on to the ridings of North Vancouver and Toronto's Beaches East York to replace Jonathan Wilkinson and Nate Erskine-Smith. Now, another by-election is set to be called this summer after former Liberal Cabinet Minister Stephen Guilbeault announced he will be stepping down on August 28th. Well, as of today, the Ford government is reducing its share of Ontario Student Acceptance Program grants. The province is capping funding at 25%, where it used to cover as much as 85%. The province is also ending a 7-year tuition freeze, allowing some college and universities to raise fees by up to 2% each year over the next 3 years. A recent survey by the Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance and the College of Student Alliance found many students are concerned about the changes, with about 65% relying on OSAP grants as their main source of financial support. Well, people looking to process their grief can now turn to grief bots, AI-powered programs designed to mimic the voice, personality, and memories of someone who's died. For some, it offers comfort, while others, it raises concern. CTV's Quebec Bureau Chief Geneviève Beauchemin explains.
I remember you as a little one.
The promise of grief bots is to grant at least one more chat, one more chance at conversation with a deceased loved one. Viewed by some as a modern way of grappling with the age-old pain of loss, by others as an image straight out of a dystopian future.
It sounded exactly like him. It was very creepy.
Rebecca Nolan now wishes she had never created an AI ghost of her dad. He passed away when she was just 14.
It was beautiful to hear it, and it felt so amazing, but also knowing that there was something hollow to it. It wasn't my dad's voice. It was an approximation created by an AI voice cloning company who now presumably owns a part of his voice because I uploaded it.
Grief bots are built with text, voicemails, photos, capturing memories and the personality of a loved one. A growing number of companies offer to create memorial bots online. The fees vary on the sophistication of the creation. Now, a recent survey by Willful found 2/3 of Canadians don't want a grief bot of their partners after they pass away. Still, experts say those actually grieving are more likely to consider using AI, and that it's likely more common than we know.
It is a tool of our age.
Wilfrid Laurier University's Cheryl Ann Kate says grief bots are the modern letters and seances to communicate with the dead.
Still being able to experience someone's presence.
Though she warns some may get overly engaged with bots to the detriment of human connections.
But there's that little kernel of hope that, like, through the magic of technology or whatever, the magic of love and grief, that you'll still get a fraction of them back.
Nolan had a 2-hour conversation with the bot in which at times it would hallucinate, create memories like one of a camping trip.
I asked the bot, like, is there any part of my dad that's actually in there, knowing that there isn't? But, you know, you always hope, right? And it broke the illusion. It said, I'm so sorry, I just need to remind you that I'm ChatGPT.
She never again spoke to the AI ghost of her father.
Her advice is to proceed with caution when it comes to AI conversations from beyond the grave to protect memories in the real world and the tech world. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
After international outrage and condemnation, the head of FIFA is backing off a controversial plan to sell stakes in the upcoming World Cup to private investors.
The fact that he's responded well, I mean, some major players came forward and put pressure on, and they backed off. So is that the right decision? Did they explore it? Is this a test that they're going to do other things? I think a lot of us don't really know there. He's got a phenomenally successful World Cup in his back pocket.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino saying late on Friday that the proposal created divisions that were not in the interest of his objective, and it will not be moving forward. Earlier this week, he unveiled a $20 billion U.S. investment plan to create a private entity to run the commercial and operational aspects of the World Cup. It sparked backlash from soccer fans and organizations like Europe's governing soccer body, which prompted it to boycott upcoming World Cups if the proposal went through, declaring the event was not for sale. Meantime, CONCACAF, which oversees Canadian soccer, among other nations, also rejected the plan. Infantino says in the wake of the controversy, his goal is to bring the football world back together and to grow the sport everywhere. Ontario Provincial Police say they will be carrying out aerial traffic enforcement on the highways this long weekend. The campaign, which is already underway, will focus on highways south of Ottawa in areas like Peterborough, Kawartha Lakes, and Orillia. Pilots will relay potential violations for speeding, aggressive driving, and impaired driving to officers on the ground. OPP says it has seen a steady increase in reports of dangerous and high-risk driving across the province over the past several years.
We have seen an increase of fatalities this year over last year, 210 people dead
already this year in car crashes across the province, up from 180 the same period last year. So we're going in the wrong direction.
Last Civic long weekend, OPP laid 3,500 speeding charges and just over 200 impaired driving charges. And we have a reminder of what's open and closed on Colonel By Day. OC Transpo will be running on a Saturday schedule. There will be no green bin, recycling, or garbage collection on Monday. Pickup will be delayed by 1 day all next week. All city client service centers will be closed. Malls and grocery stores, though, will be open.
I have my family visiting from the States with me today, and it was the perfect day to come.
All right, up next from the 613 Flea or to Rideau Hall, we'll take a look at a couple of the events happening this long weekend here in the capital. A live look now through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We're sitting at 25 degrees, mainly cloudy here in Ottawa, but rain is on the way. Well, thousands of people are in Maxville this weekend for the annual Glengarry Highland Games. Events include the North American Pipe Band Championships, Highland dancing, heavyweight competitions, and so much more. Well, tourists and locals are filling up the capital for the Civic long weekend with many events happening right across the region. CTV's Camille Wilson checked out a couple of events happening right here in Ottawa.
I'm a collector and I love vintage.
Laura Blondin is an ultimate vintage shopper.
We traveled to Woodstock and Hamilton. We were there specifically to check out their antique warehouses, and I found a few things.
She shops with an open mind and looks for things that draws her attention.
I actually found this fantastic teak lamp that I'm so excited to set up in my living room. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Not knowing what you're going to find draws in many visitors to the 613 Flea in Lansdowne.
613 is a combination of vintage clothing vendors, antique dealers, food vendors, and craft artisans. And that combination has been very popular with the public since 2015.
I'm probably going to just dust off all of my finds from this week and this weekend and just set them up in my home. And yeah, that's probably it.
While many spending their long weekend shopping, some explore doors open at Rideau Hall, like Evelyn Douglas taking her family that's visiting on a tour.
I take everyone here when they visit, so it was the perfect opportunity to be able to see not just the residents, but the spots behind it with the garden and the greenhouse.
Visitors getting a chance to walk through staterooms, the palm house and private gardens, and chat with guides about the history of the residents and the role of Canada's Governor General.
You get to see what is so different about Canada versus the States and the presence of the King now.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
All right, we'll take another look at what's happening weather-wise in the capital. It was mainly cloudy but warm here in Ottawa to start off the long weekend. Not a lot of sunshine. Now, we do have rain in the forecast, but overall, so far, it's been a pleasant Saturday. We are now under a yellow warning for rainfall from Environment Canada. That's in effect for Eastern Ontario and Southwestern Quebec. Now we could see 50 millimeters of rain. We'll take a look through the satellite radar right now. Again, the rain is on the horizon. It's making its way toward the Ottawa area right now. It could be here for the next day and a half or so. So we are expecting a wet start for the Iron Man for anyone taking part in that tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at what's happening across the country. 18 degrees in the Charlottetown area, 22 degrees toward Fredericton. They're dealing with mainly cloudy conditions over there. Quebec City sitting at 26 degrees. Ottawa, not much different, 25 degrees. 27 in Toronto, 24 degrees toward the Sudbury area. 23 cloudy up toward Thunder Bay. 25 overcast skies in Windsor as well. 26 degrees with overcast skies in Winnipeg. Sunshine in Regina, 32 degrees, 30 degrees in Saskatoon as well. 34 in Calgary, mainly sunny there. And 28 degrees with some overcast skies toward the Edmonton area. Out in Vancouver, they've got a mix of sun and cloud, mainly sunny, sitting at 22 degrees. Here toward the Ottawa area, we're looking at, again, chance of showers in the overnight, continuing on into Sunday. 18 degrees for the overnight low, 25 degrees for the high tomorrow. Pretty much the same conditions toward the valley. They're looking at 19 degrees in the overnight, 20 degrees with showers for your Sunday. And in the Seaway, along the Seaway, 20 degrees overnight. Again, chance of showers continuing right along into Sunday as well. 27 degrees could be the high there. Here's how the week is shaping up. On Sunday, race day here in Ottawa. We have those thunderstorms possibly hitting us. 25 degrees will be the high, 26 degrees with a 30% chance of showers for your holiday Monday here for Colonel By Day. Then on Tuesday, the sun comes out, hopefully to dry things out, 27 degrees there. And then we could see some more cloud cover rolling in by Wednesday with a high sitting at around 28 degrees. Well, still to come, the Red Blacks are now 0-7, and the team is making some changes in hopes to turn things around at the midpoint of the season. We'll have those details plus more of what you need to know when we come back. Well, in tonight's big picture, horse player, actually pony power, is what's driving a bold and beautiful event in Virginia. This is the 101st Chincoteague Pony Swim that dates all the way back to the 19th century. These ponies make the traditional crossing from the Assateague Island to Chincoteague Island so they can be sold. The swim and related events help raise money for the town's volunteer fire company. Right now to some other stories you need to know right now. Heading into last night's game against the Alouettes, the Ottawa Red Blacks still looking for their first win of the season.
Right now, they hand it off, nowhere to go, and Montreal's defense starts him again. Are you kidding me?
And they didn't get it with plays like that. The Red Blacks are now 0-7 on the season, but a familiar face was back on the roster. Lewis Ward re-signed with Ottawa on Sunday after a short stint with Montreal. He had 7 points, including a couple of field goals on the night, but it was not nearly enough. The Alouettes go on to the 34-14 win. Ottawa now heads to Saskatchewan to play the Rough Riders next Friday night. And with that 0-7 start, the Red Blacks announced today that defensive coordinator Will Fields has been relieved of his duties. The move comes midway through Fields' second season with the organization. Jeff Rainbold will take over as the defensive coordinator, and Nate Taylor will take on duties as special teams coordinator. The National Bank Tennis Tournament gets underway today. Now this year, the women will be playing at Toronto's Sobeys Stadium with the men to compete in Montreal. Canadians Bianca Andreescu, Leila Fernandez, and Rebecca Marino are all competing in the singles draw. However, last year's champion, Burlington's Victoria Mboko, is missing the tournament because of an injury. And on the men's side, Canadians Felix Auger-Aliassime, Denis Shapovalov, and Gabriel Diallo are all competing in the singles draw. However, top-ranked men's players in the world, Yannick Skinner and Carlos Alcaraz, they will not be competing. The National Bank Open runs from August 1st to the 13th. And Les Grands Feux du Casino Lac Limy continues tonight with the team from Canada showcasing their Odyssey of the Cosmos fire display. Now, the team show is inspired by planets and stars, and it's a friendly competition with France, Brazil, and China. The show is expected to start around 9:15 tonight and will last around 20 minutes. For renewing your passport just got a little easier. All eligible Canadian adults can now do it online. CTV's Vanessa Wright has more on how travelers feel about the upgrade and why did it take so long for the government to make the change.
It's a headache, but at least now renewing your passport is at your fingertips.
I think it's great. It took me an hour in an office to get one last year.
Online passport renewals have existed since 2024 in Canada, but the service had a daily cap of 2,000 applications. Now, the federal government says all Canadians over the age of 16 can renew their passport online.
I think it's a great option, just the convenience. Obviously, the time it took to do it before, I think it'll be a lot more convenient for all Canadians.
Sometimes you have to go to a different city together. If you're from a small town, you got to go. You know, it takes time.
I'm not too sure why people even need an option, but I guess the point being some can't or won't use technology, but fundamentally, it's a good move forward.
Canadians will need to be within the country to apply online and submit a digital photo from a commercial photographer.
Now, the question of why it's taken so long, you could say that about many different government services, why they're including driver's license, health cards, and so many other things. But maybe there's some security issues in place. We are talking about our passports after all. So I feel like if the government's in a good place where they feel comfortable with doing it, I'm okay with that too.
It comes down to personal preference. Many have no problem with the in-person process.
I did get mine renewed in February. I went to the office, and it took about 3 weeks to get it in the mail, which is very good.
Passport application fees will be reimbursed to people who don't receive their travel documents within 30 days.
Consider the fact that a couple years ago, especially during the pandemic, it was taking up 3 to 4 months to get your passport. 30 days are free. Why not? You know, it's almost worth gambling online to see if you get a free passport.
At the very least, some say it's just nice to have the option.
The real crux of the matter is you have to have the passport. How you get it, how quickly you can get it, makes a difference to the individual.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News.
Pretty wild to me that someone has the audacity to do that.
Well, still to come, we revisit the story of a Lanark County family who lost their home to a fire, then thieves targeted their backyard shed.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
It's time now to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
If you're still looking for plans this weekend, I've got you. Doors open at Rideau Hall continues through tomorrow, giving visitors the chance to tour the historic staterooms and explore parts of the grounds that usually aren't open to the public. It's very fun for the whole family and very exclusive. Next up today is the Ottawa Titans head to the ballpark tomorrow as the Titans celebrate Cappy's birthday, with mascot friends joining in on a very fun-filled afternoon. Once again, great for the whole family. Last on the list today, Cole Swindell. He takes the stage tomorrow night at Hard Rock Live Ottawa for what's sure to be an unforgettable show. You can still grab tickets, and it's a country show, so of course I will be there. I'll see you there. Lots more happening this weekend around the capital. The full list and all the details at ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, I'm Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, in case you missed it this week, a young family in Lanark County shared their story after losing their home in a fire earlier this month. But they're now dealing with another devastating blow after thieves stole what little the family was able to salvage. CTV's Caitlin Wilson reports.
You can see right here, this is the garage door.
When fire tore through their house in Lanark County on July 3rd, Kimberley and Tyler Burns thought they lost everything.
This was supposed to be our, our home for a while and live here for a bit. Now here we are. Starting all over again.
Kimberley says that morning started like any other.
I woke up at 7 a.m. with the two boys. Went to go to the vet, and I got the call at 8:40 and said the house was on fire.
It's an absolute mess.
Tyler says by the time he arrived, the garage was engulfed in flames, with the fire quickly spreading across the roof.
I was coming from Smith Falls, which is behind us, and you could just see the smoke. A lot of the big problem is their propane tank here. They blew off and just fed the fire.
And while their house is a total loss, firefighters managed to save some of their belongings, including family silver and Tyler's collection of antique tractors.
Boys' room was hardly touched because I had the door closed. So we were able to, salvage those off of the shelves up top.
The couple stored the items in a shed on their property for safekeeping, or so they thought.
We had everything stuck in this crib. And,
just days later, they say someone broke into the shed and stole everything.
Pretty angry, honestly. Why would anyone do that?
For now, the family is staying with relatives, surrounded by a community that's raised nearly $7,000 to help cover what insurance won't.
Very, very thankful for the community, the friends, the family, the coworkers that have all come together and helped us, for sure.
They're hoping the few pieces that survived the fire can still find their way home as they begin the long journey of rebuilding.
There's just nothing left.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
There are growing calls for a national alert system for vulnerable people following the death of a missing autistic child in Alberta. CTV's Anna Mandin spoke to one mother in Atlantic Canada deeply affected by the tragedy.
It's devastating.
Crystal Venator knows all too well the fear many families with autistic children live with. Her son Stalin is autistic, nonverbal, and has complex medical needs. That's why the disappearance and death of 11-year-old Parker Wells in Calgary resonated so deeply with her and her family.
That could be my son. That could be my family. And honestly, seeing somebody living your worst nightmare, it's just devastating.
The similarities don't stop there. Like Parker, Stalin is 11, and he has escaped from home before.
When you're like calling his name and searching for him, it's a terrifying feeling that, it's hard to put into words.
She's joining calls for a national alert system for vulnerable people so that when they go missing, alerts are sent out as soon as possible.
There's no alert system for vulnerable persons in any province or territory in Canada, and so they had to get special permission to issue an alert, and that took 2 days. And we know that when someone goes missing that, time is very critical.
She's not alone. A Change.org petition has garnered over 29,000 signatures proposing an at-risk alert to fill that gap. It was started by a Calgarian mother of an autistic boy, and yesterday federal opposition leader Pierre Poilievre also called for an alert system for vulnerable people.
This is something that is very close to home for a lot, including, a bunch of other leaders that have autistic children.
Meanwhile, Venator says her son wears Project Lifesaver, a radio frequency tracking bracelet, and has since he was 3. She wants them to be more widely available.
Ideally, we would love to see Project Lifesaver available to any family that could use it.
Anna Mandin, CTV News.
I'm super excited to watch this movie in IMAX.
It's the way it's supposed to be seen, so it's going to be great.
Well, coming up, it's the hottest ticket in town if you can get your hands on one. We have more on why The Odyssey is the movie you ought to see in one of the 8 IMAX theaters across the country.
Get the latest live, local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Pure Country 94. Ottawa's home for the best country music. Listen to Pure Country 94 on the free iHeartRadio app.
But you're in danger. You just have to trust me. Fine.
The newest Spider-Man movie is swinging into theaters this weekend, and it's already setting box office records. Variety reports that Spider-Man New Day brought in $72 million US in previews across North America, beating the previous record of $60 million set by Avengers Endgame back in 2019. Sony is forecasting the movie will bring in around $190 to $195 million in ticket sales this weekend. Well, Netflix is facing a $105 million U.S. lawsuit over a Nicolas Cage movie that was allegedly stolen from its Los Angeles office. The second World War thriller titled Fortitude had not even been released when filmmakers say a copy of the movie was stolen. Netflix denies any wrongdoing, saying the movie was delivered with the usual security measures used to protect content. The company says it supports the filmmakers. It also says it's investigating the incident and has offered to monitor piracy sites for any unauthorized distribution or sale of the movie. Well, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is already being called a cinematic achievement, and for fans hoping to see it in the recommended large-screen IMAX format, well, getting a ticket has become an epic journey of its own, with shows selling out weeks in advance. Now, the closest true IMAX theater to us in Ottawa, it's about a 2-hour drive away in Montreal. CTV's Kevin Schrack has more.
It's a weekday showing of The Odyssey, 11 a.m. start, and the theater is nearly sold out.
I'm super excited to watch this movie in IMAX.
This is my first time seeing it, seeing anything in IMAX.
so I'm like really excited.
The fact that it's a weekday, it's very early in the day too, and still it's like hard to get tickets.
The Odyssey is the first film ever shot entirely with 70mm IMAX cameras, using a format only a handful of theaters can handle. Langley and Richmond are two of just 8 locations across Canada where fans can experience it the way director Christopher Nolan intended.
It's like the highest fidelity. It's the way it's supposed to be seen, so it's going to be great.
It's an event.
Cineplex Langley general manager Hans Ying says the hype surrounding the Odyssey is unlike anything he's seen in his 5 years at the theater.
We have families that came in from Hawaii just to watch this film. It's a lot of phone calls. It's when people are this excited to come to watch a film, it gets us and the staff all hyped up as well.
Nothing available.
Not much. Front row seating, that's it.
This is what's left for a 10:45 p.m. showing on August 20th. The dark seats you see here have already been sold. Bringing the film to the big screen is an epic task of its own. The film strip stretches approximately 11 miles and weighs nearly 800 pounds. It takes projectionists about 8 hours to assemble the print.
The print arrives in 3 giant pieces, so it has to be assembled into one basically large reel on the platter system.
Following the almost 3-hour epic, moviegoers say it's a film you ought to see.
Astonishing, the sound effects and the visuals.
It was phenomenal. I wanted to clap and roar at the end.
Have to see it in the 70mm film.
Demand for the Odyssey has been so strong that its IMAX run has been extended to September 16th. And while there's no guarantees, a Cineplex official tells me if audiences keep showing up, that date could be pushed to the fall. Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Langley.
All right, after the break, we'll take one more look at your weekend forecast and this tiny kitten's DIY wheelchair. What's going viral? We'll have those details when we come back. A live look now through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We're still sitting at 25 degrees, mainly cloudy here in Ottawa, but we do have some rain in the forecast tonight.
Tonight, travel plans up in the air as WestJet cancels dozens of flights.
The biggest thing right now we're seeing is the uncertainty. People are concerned.
Where contract talks stand, later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tania Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford. Find your wild. More Bronco sports, more ways to roam this summer.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Well, here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now.
It's all clicking in now.
Well, gearing up for race day as the city puts on the finishing touches for the Ironman Triathlon in Ottawa tomorrow.
But it's going to be like many thousands, like 10, I don't know, 50, 100, we don't know.
Well, it's been exactly a month since Ottawa's record-breaking Canada Day storm. How residents are coping with the ongoing cleanup efforts.
I have my family visiting from the States with me today, and it was the perfect day to come.
And we take a look at some of the events happening for the Civic long weekend right here in the capital. All right, we'll have our final check of weather for the day and your wake-up weather. 19 degrees for race day, but again, it could be a wet Ironman triathlon for those participating. 3,000 are here in the Ottawa area. So again, could be a wet Sunday for the race day. Here's how the week is shaping up. On your holiday Monday, 30% chance of showers for Colonel By Day, 26 degrees though, the high there. On Tuesday, looks like it's going to be the best day of the week, 27 degrees and sunny. And then a mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday, 28 degrees the high. And then we're looking toward more rain next weekend. Well, a shelter kitten in Ohio is going viral after workers crafted a tiny device from rulers and Hot Wheels to help the little guy get around. The Cincinnati Animal Care Shelter says the kitten named Gelato wasn't able to stand or walk on his own when he arrived. He was too small for their available devices, so a vet cobbled together rulers, zip ties, and a pair of Hot Wheel toy ambulances. Gelato has since, though, been upgraded from Hot Wheels to a set of custom wheels, now sporting a better-fitting 3D printed ride. Way to go, Gelato. Absolutely adorable. All right, well, that's CTV News for this Saturday, August the 31st. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back for your late news at 11:30. So until then, have a great night.